What is up, guys? Fado82 coming at you with a weekly Rust update video. This week's Rust update is not going to be the most content-rich update or the most forward-facing, but it is important nonetheless in terms of performance, and it's added in some nice touches with ambient sounds and effects. You might notice that the player's footsteps are changing as they transition from the grass to the sand, then onto rocks, and it applies to foundations as well, so wood, stone, and metal will produce different footsteps. Very cool stuff, and it does add to the overall atmosphere. The flamethrower now has new sounds rigged up with it as well, and the flames, the fixed flames, will damage items depending on the building tier they're on. So stone and metal will offer more protection from flames, which I guess makes sense. Overall, guys, you're going to notice some performance gains this go around with Rust. It's hard to really quantify it. It was more than frames per second. It was also some video lag and other things that were less apparent with this patch. This was one of the best kickstarts to performance that I've seen in recent Rust patches, and that's definitely something that's much needed. What you're taking a look at right now is FreeCam Rust footage, and this is what I'm going to use to be able to talk about this update because there wasn't a lot of content to show off. For a point of reference, the FreeCam Rust footage was taken after the start of the wipe cycle, about 3 hours into the wipe cycle. So if you're looking at the character's gear or bases and wondering what it's all about, this is a vanilla server, and this is 3 hours in after the map has been freshly wiped, so everybody's starting new. In terms of the performance, I did notice substantial performance increases with this patch. If you want to see what the technical side of that is and read about that, go over and check out the dev blog. A lot of it was beyond me, guys. I'm not a programmer, and I don't necessarily have the ability to articulate that in a way that won't sound foolish. But go ahead and read it. There were many things that were changed to tweak the way that sounds are heard in the game and the way that different aspects are displayed that overall were small fixes but added to a aggregate that will vary from person to person, but you should definitely notice performance increases. I certainly did. The metabolic system that was fleshed out last week in Rust has received some slight changes. Most notably, players will now start with more calories, which will allow them to survive an additional 15 to 20 minutes in Rust's harsh landscape. Overall, that metabolic system was very well received, as it should be. Rust is a survival game, so that's something that was a good first pass, and we can't wait to see where it goes from there. This week, guys, in Rust, you'll notice some changes when you're eating and drinking. You'll hear some different sounds that will accompany those actions, which will help to draw you into the atmosphere. And in terms of next week, the dev blog was eerily silent. Next week is, of course, the week when we see the next iteration of the procedurally generated terrain. So that's the changes to the map, the way that it looks. And that's likely to bring with it a lot of profound changes to those dungeon areas. We'll see them more fleshed out. But the big elephant in the room is if we will see or if we'll not see that experience system, the first pass at it hitting the wild next week. And again, we're really not sure what the future holds for that. It's currently live on the staging branch, or the pre-release branch rather. I'm sorry, the pre-release branch. So if you go ahead and hop over there, you guys can see where it currently is at. Play around with it, give some feedback too. So it's good to go over there and see what's going on. But in terms of next week, that was a target date for it to hit the wild. That was sort of the soft date, if you will. And I'm not quite sure we're going to see it, guys, but we might. You never know. But next week's patch, I bet, will be very content-rich, even if we don't see that XP update. We saw some image of what's to come in terms of different states that characters will display in the inventory screen. So they'll have different emotive states here, if they're cold, hungry, perhaps sad or fearful. And what do you guys think about that? They did ask for feedback, so if you can please leave a comment below. I think it's pretty cool. I'm definitely for that, and I think it's in line with the realistic character models that they're moving forward with. And we saw some further progression on those character models with different face sizes, different bone structures here on the different ethnicities and character models, and that's something that I think is certainly necessary to help differentiate ourselves. And those, again, would be probably most likely uniquely assigned by your Steam ID, so you can't pick what your face looks like. We saw some further armor and clothing variations here, most notably some cool looking cardboard armor and some higher tier metal armor that would make players move slower but would offer them a lot more protection. Helk's soon going to be lighting shit up, and fire will be responding differently. Players will be able to ignite, and fire will catch and spread more naturally. Water, as it becomes a more important resource, is going to require larger containers, ones that are fixed in your compound. As we see here, this would be placed similar to how Ikoria is placed, as we can tell by the looks of it. Overall, guys, this patch was very much a performance increasing patch, and I think you guys will notice a lot of gains in that department. Let me know, guys, by leaving a comment below what you notice for performance, if it increased, if it decreased, and also go ahead and leave your PC specs. It's always hard to really determine what's going on if you guys don't leave that information, because we really can't tell, if you're running Rust on a potato, no matter what they do, it's probably not going to run too well. But if you have a mid-range PC to a high-end PC, you should definitely notice some increases. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and wind down this week's Rust update video. I wanted to apologize for the lack of content this past week. I've had a lot going on in real life with work, but I do have footage to edit. Rust Cribs is on the way. Fatal82, peace.